Hello everyone, Pierce Nation here. Welcome to a new episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! News, but in this segment we'll be going over the history of the meta and how the meta is actually shifting. This will actually be the part 1 to the meta. As you know, I kind of did the introduction into this segment yesterday, today, whatever it is, because I do not know. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to go over, the history of the meta, kind of show you where we are at and where we used to be. Like I said, I'm going to try to do some of these when I'm not going over new cards, just go over like the history of the game, the meta and everything like that. And then once every few weeks go about trying to get like the history done. Try going over like new meta decks that are entering the meta currently. Go over the new cards that release, when they release. Just anything we can do, anything to get content out, anything that interests you guys as a whole as well. That's what my goal here is to do, is to try to get you guys good content as fast as I can get it. Okay, so it should be Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas to everyone else. For me, I'm doing this on the 24th, so I'm doing this on Christmas Eve. So, Happy Christmas to all you guys. And if you do not celebrate Christmas, whatever you celebrate, I hope you guys have a happy holiday. Because I know not everybody celebrates Christmas, so. Okay, so with that, we're going to get right into this. Okay, I need to be able to read this. Scroll up just there. Alright, here we go. 2002. To check my phone real quick. Hang on. Slid it up there. Yeah. Alright, that was nothing. Alright, 2002. The trading card game we know today began all the way back in March of 2002 with the release of the first ever TCG booster set, Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon, and the first two starter decks which corresponded with Yugi and Kaiba, the two main characters in the anime. You've heard me talk about it before. Never got to get the actual starter decks, always wanted them. At this very early stage in the game's history, the card pool was extremely small. Most monsters were either normal summon or had rudimentally one-line effects. As the game advanced and more cards were released throughout 2002, many of the emerging high-level players recognized that Summon Skull was going to be the power benchmark. As a level 6 with 2500 attack, Summon Skull was stronger than every other tribute monster, and even stronger than most 2 tribute monsters that existed at the time. I think the only one he wasn't stronger than was Blue Eyes White Dragon for a long time. And Blue Eyes was a 2 tribute, so. So, there again, he's pretty good. So there's another defining feature of the game's early evolution was the power creep of level 4 monsters in terms of attack. From the beginning, La Jin, the mystical genie of the lamp, set the high mark for attack on non-tribute monsters with his 1800 attack. This would soon be pushed further with the release of Mechanical Chaser, 1850 attack in the first tournament pack. Yes, Mechanical Chaser was the card to have back then, because I had 2 copies of Mechanical Chaser. I got it. I didn't get it in a TCG pack. Again, I didn't play actual tournaments back then. I got it out of a set. I forget what the set's called, but it has like it's got like shit. I'd have to look it up, but it came out like 2003-ish, something like that, because everyone was trying to get Mechanical Chaser because he was the highest, monster with, you didn't really have to tribute for him. Well, you don't, because he's a level 4. Let's see. says although this card was stronger than La Jin and the other 1800 attack monsters that were starting to pop up in the other booster sets, it never properly dominated the game because of how difficult it was to get. Being the rarest card in the pack that was distributed as a tournament prize, Mechanical Chaser was not widely accessible. Meaning that while it was the most powerful tributeless monster of the time, it was not the most iconic in terms of seeing play. Very true. It was not that great. Like I said, it was good to get, but again, it later came out and everyone had one, so it wasn't that big a deal anymore. The period of the game's history is therefore often remembered as Summon Skull Beatdown format, which is a fact. This is a bit of a misnomer, though while the strongest decks in 2002 were definitely the ones that used Summon Skull to do the most damage, there was no concept of a format. Okay, and it keeps going up. Let's say comment of a format then as we think of it today. Because the game was so new, the community was underdeveloped, and the average age of the players was skewed in a younger direction, as most players then became fans due to the anime, which was marketed at children, which I was a child at the time of that, so I was one of them. These factors combined with the lack of large tournaments in TCG regions, the absence of a robust secondary market and developed theory on the game, and the overall tiny card pool led to an extremely varied and seemingly random meta. Although most decks and some variant of a beatdown strategy were no universal except best builds, and many players often used subpar cards. They did because no one really knew what to use. At this time, nothing was banned. Everything was wide open, and it was nasty. I remember playing with my friends, and we're like, well, what's the rules? You open up, pack or a structure deck, whatever you got, and it would have some sort of rules in there because we didn't have any rules, and we tried to basically put those rules in our own terms, and we were wrong like 100% of the time. So then they actually came out with rules later on, which we'll go over that, and I'm sure it's gonna go over it. So far, this thing has not been wrong. It is exactly right. Let's see. Even then, the most powerful cards in the game could be narrowed down to a small set: Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed, Regeki, Dark Cold, Change of Heart, and Heavy Storm. Very much so. All of these cards immediately found their way onto the early incarnations of the Forbidden List, as they did at that point, just a limited list. They shared the common feature of having extremely powerful effects that were essentially cost-free and had little to no counterplays. The first booster set to really shift the focus of many decks from relying solely on those original power cards was Magic Ruler. Yes. Very good. They have the cards on there, thank God. So, Magic Ruler was later named Spell Ruler because of Magic the Gathering. Because they're trying to go away from naming them Magic cards and go to Spell cards, which they are today. As its name suggests, the set introduced a variety of powerful new spells to the game, including the Forceful Sentry, Delinquent Duo, Confiscation, Mystical Space Typhoon, Painful Choice, and Snatch Steal. The only one that I know of that is still legal today is Mystical Space Typhoon, which would be MST. So that's the only one I know. In the final set of 2002, Pharaoh's Servant introduced one final important card to the game, Jinzo. Jinzo was unique at the time for being only slightly weaker than Summon Skull, while also carrying an extremely powerful effect. Its negation of traps like Mirror Force, Trap Hole, meant that the card allowed player to bypass many of the era's popular strategies and it became a staple in many beatdown decks as well. Yes, Jinzo was one of the best cards that they ever put out in that time frame. But that is all for 2002. So go ahead and I'll stop reading here, and we'll pick up the next video in 2003. As you can see, the main card. We'll go over that if you don't know what that is. You're about to find out in the next video. But for everyone who does know what that card does, you all know how important that 2003 was for a lot of players. And whether you played on Playground, with your brothers, with your friends, or if you played at a card shop, which I did not have the audacity to be able to do. So, I wish I could have back then, because I could have been good, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm still good. In fact, I'm great. Because, man, my cards, they've always been good. My cards have always been good. I've never had anything that, like, any deck that I build on this channel or for myself, you know, they start off as like a starter project. Like, okay, you've heard me talk about them enough. They're right here. These are Cyber Dragons. All of them. I got Cyber Ends. I have more Cyber Dragons. Got the Machine Duplicators. Like, my decks are well-rounded, and like I said, that deck I'm trying to save it, not really go over it that much, because when I get the cards for it, they're not here yet. Like I said, doing all this in one day, so give me 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks, and I can get this Cyber Dragon meta video out to you guys, so you guys can go over it. Maybe build your own version of this deck. I'm telling you this right now. The cards that I have in that deck right there are very, very powerful and unique, and literally, I don't have to really do anything because of how powerful that deck is right now. I think it's supposed to be 47 cards, 46, something like that. You got 6 negates in the deck. Again, very good. Because you don't want your Cyber Dragon. You want it to be able to run on its own and let Cyber Dragon Nova and Cyber Dragon Infinity do the work. If you have to go that route. Sometimes you don't have to. Sometimes you can just come right out with Cyber End and hit Power Bond and hit Limiter Removal and done. But, you know, sometimes you don't get that. You don't really get to that stage. So a good one to try to do instead is, you know, just wait. Let me get my cards. Give me 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I'll have the video out. Whether if I'm doing it from here or I'm doing it at my mom and dad's, and I plan on buying a freaking phone display so I can do my videos a lot closer, so you guys can really see them. That's the goal. That's the end goal here. Might not get that to come into fruition, but I'm gonna try. So just bear with me on that. Again, I see yesterday or today I was supposed to have the Cyber Dragon EDO video come out, which has the same cards that are in it. But I figure it's people really like my real life in-depth deck breakdowns on it. So again, we'll get to that. I'll go ahead and end the video. That way I don't drag this video out too long. That way I can upload in about, I'd say 20 minutes. But I'll go ahead and end the video here, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you guys enjoy the history of the TCG. I'm Pierce Nation. I'll see you in the next video. Pierce Nation out.